I had 2 weddings this year, one in Italy and one here at home, and I just couldn't let all the special details that I had just disappear into storage. So today I'm turning all the leftover wedding decor, florals, and fabrics into keepsakes I'll actually want to display. Think velvet frames, pressed flowers, custom details, and the best part is you can make this from any event, doesn't have to be a wedding, so let's create. And we're gonna start with the most dramatic one. I definitely wanted to reuse those beautiful deep green velvet curtains I had at the civil ceremony. So I went to the thrift store and I found this really kind of gross stained picture frame, which is fine because we're gonna cover it with the velvet. I really wanted a bold green on green on green look, so the frame, the mat, the photo, all matching. So I first sprayed the front of the frame and the mat with a spray adhesive glue. And then I flipped those onto the velvet right side down so the soft side shows. I trimmed all the excess fabric with sharp scissors. Inside the mat, I did angled cuts to act as slits and then just folded that edge over and glued it with hot glue. For the outside of the mat, I used the hot glue as well to fold over the edges. But at the corners, I folded it like you would a present. For the outside frame, I basically repeated the same steps, but I started with the outside edge. So I hot glued the fabric to that back edge, pulling very tight. And then I did the corners again, like you would a present. For inside, I'm cutting away that excess fabric and I'm leaving just around 1 centimeter of fabric, not too much because it's just enough to be tucked into that inside edge where the glass usually sits. Once it was all cut out, I used the hot glue to attach it to that lip. For the back, I wasn't too fussed. I just kind of cleaned it up with the scissors, but nobody's gonna see this, so it doesn't need to look perfect. I printed out a photo of my husband and I standing in front of the green velvet curtains. So it's like a triple layer memory and it's green on green on green. I love it. Next, let's see what I did with my beautiful cascading bouquet. It was made entirely of daffodils, and I actually put it together the morning of the ceremony. If you haven't seen that video yet, don't worry, you could always watch it after this one. And right after the ceremony, I pressed the bouquet to preserve that day forever. For the display, I wanted to make it very playful and joyful, just like the flowers, kind of celebrate their character. So I gave each bloom lots of space and I put it into a minimalist frame with a mat. If you've never pressed flowers before, I've got a full tutorial and I'm actually thinking of filming an updated one. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to watch because I've upped my game a whole ton. Remember my welcome dinner sign that I made for Italy? Let's make it into art. I designed this linen sign to greet our guest, but after the trip, I didn't want to just fold it up and have it live in a closet forever. So I decided to give it a new life by building a custom wood frame and stretching the fabric onto it. At Home Depot, when I was picking up this wood, not one, but 2 different guys actually tried to talk me out of buying it. It's a super cheap kind, it's like $1 or $2 a piece, but for crafts like this, it works perfectly. Back at home, I measured out the frame and cut the wood with a handsaw and miter box at a 45-degree angle. I glued and nailed the pieces together to form the frame. Okay, The frame is done, and now I'm just cutting the fabric. So I cut out my design and then also a second panel, and I'm gonna layer the two so the design really pops. Starting with the plain panel, I stretched the linen over the frame and securing it with staples on the back. Now I'm just repeating the same step with my panel that has my drawing on it. And I've made a very similar project in the past, so if you want to go watch that video, it has this exact method broken down step by step, and I'll link it down below for you. And last but not least are these two small details I kept from the wedding. I doodled this little table for our seating chart, and now I'm just slicing it out with my paper cutter. I've been hoarding these gorgeous metallic origami papers for years, and I thought, why not use them as a background? The hard part was choosing the color. I went back and forth a million times, but I finally landed on red. I just taped my little cutout right on top. Which color would you have picked? I designed and made these little thank you tags that went on our party favors, so I wanted to display those. So I backed them with this scrap deep burgundy upholstery fabric that I had lying around, and I love just like how rich this fabric is. And my sister just told me 2 months after the wedding that there's a typo on the little thank you tags, so don't read these too closely. And because I can never make things too easy for myself, I decided that I did not like the color of these frames. The original finish was just way too orange. So here I am just stripping the wood, sanding it down, and then restaining them. It's not hard, it just requires patience and a light touch. But now the wood looks way more warm and rich, and it just ties in beautifully with the art and our home. Now, instead of boxes of wedding stuff in a closet, I have art on my walls, flowers in frames, and decor that reminds me of the happiest days. You don't need a wedding to do this. Any event can become part of your everyday space. Which project was your favorite, and should I film an updated flower pressing tutorial? Tell me in the comments. And all the other DIYs mentioned in this video can be found linked in the description below. So I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.